My name is Justin Fenn, and I'm a rising senior at Martell. I guess I was agnostic growing up. Like, my parents weren't religious, and I never really had a community or really like a lot of friends who were religious, and it was never a conversation that was brought up, except for my one friend who is currently one of my best friends in the world. She's a Christian, and I used to have lunches with her after school, just talking to her about and debating with her on the validity of her faith, and asking like how would she know that these things are true, and really starting to pick it apart. And at that time, I really was closed minded, and I would walk away from those conversations like she's ridiculous. This is impossible. Like there's no validity to anything like that. And so fast forward until this is a huge fast forward until last summer. I went to go visit her in Boston, and at the time, I think inside I was going through a lot of things and just having a tough time just handling just life in general, like a lot of us do. And once again, we started to get into a debate, and I once again attacked her and just really started to pose really tough questions. And there was an auntie that was there with us. Even after we had this intense conversation, she smiled at me and she was like, "Justin, I think that God has a plan for you." And I remember leaving that conversation feeling like that was ridiculous. How could she say that to me? But then a part of me really thought that like, what if it was true? Maybe there's something to explore there. Maybe when I go back on campus, I'll reach out to some friends who I knew were involved in Chi Alpha and maybe see if that can help me out with all the stuff that I'm going through. That first fall semester, just to wrap it up, in general, it was more about me uh, getting past not believing in a God and just being like, okay, it's plausible that maybe there is a God out there. So I moved from not believing in a God to maybe there is a God to asking myself, well, if there was a God, who would it be, and why would so many of my friends or some of my friends believe that in this religion, in this cult like in religion that believes in a guy called Jesus? It doesn't make any sense to me. But I started to delve into the gospel specifically and really understand past the superficial definitions of religion and be like, this is a book. Why is there a book? What is the story behind the book? Who? And just trying to answer who is Jesus Christ. And I went to I don't forget what the number was, maybe 7 mile road. And someone handed me a book by Tim Keller. It was The Reason for God. And reading that book really changed the way I viewed worldviews in general, and just I it made me ask myself, why am I subscribing to my particular worldview? What is the evidence? What explanatory power does it have? What questions does it answer? And ultimately, what does it say for the meaning of of life? After I got past that intellectual stage, it was more of you know getting into a relational experience with God, and just exploring this what it means to have a relationship with Jesus, opening my heart and my mind to the idea that there's a God, and that uh, there is a story of the gospel, and that he went up to the cross and died for me. That idea of someone who could know you like fully, like with all your flaws and everything that you've done wrong, and just say like I love you, and I guess I didn't realize how powerful that was, and I didn't realize the truth behind that. Um, because at the end of the day, like I feel like I have felt this for a long time. Like we're all looking for some kind of idol, in life, and some kind of love, and like nothing is ever gonna. I didn't feel like anything was ever going to, you know, fill like the hole that a lot of us live with every day, and just learning about the gospel, and what Jesus did and what it means, or like what it would mean if that happened, um, really was the thing that made me believe, and to see the change that I felt in my heart. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. Like there's nothing I can say that can explain how that feels. Um, and for the longest time, I thought it was a blind faith, and just having it come together in so many ways. First, like for me to have doubted for so long, and I just feel like, okay, I'm just splurging here now, but I
Go
just
for
feel
it.
like if I look back, there's been a hand that has been guiding me. Um, Literally, almost every struggle I've had with that I've had in my life, and just ending up turning to God, like like it just I don't know how to describe it, but it's just crazy how I've ended up here, and I can find no explanation for the sense, the unity in what I've learned, and the culmination of all the knowledge and all the experiences I've had, and how it is all reflected, like things I believe in and things I valued, even though I don't know it. Like I didn't know at the time, but when I found the gospel, it just and when I found Jesus, like it all came together. Like everything that I feel like I wanted to feel, and the way I want always strive to love things and love people. Um, that is the way that I feel like I'm loved by God, and and it just all came together through Jesus Christ.